Next.
The Luke and Susie quotable in just moments, and it's talking about insanity.
It's Luke and Susie with Faith Family Culture. It's Luke and Susie with you. We're broadcasting from Greece.
The wise words of someone from yesteryear. Susie, how are you?
I'm super well, thank you. How are you?
Oh, super and improving. Looking forward to, we're trying something new. We are live on YouTube. We are live in our Facebook community, and we would love you to just join us on the chat and be involved and write comments and just be a part of the conversation. We're going to go through a few topics today.
We are.
We are going to explore some questions that have come in through to the show, in particular one from Fiona, which is about meeting your lifelong partner and sort of the stories behind some of it, the romance behind some of it, Suze.
The love stories.
We're going to get to that, plus the most horrific question we've ever had to answer in one of our Would You Rather segments.
The hardest Would You Rather we've ever done.
It is absolutely ridiculous. But we want to kick things off with the Luke and Susie Discourse live show with Luke and Susie Quotable.
It's so good, it's worth repeating.
You can say that again. It's so good, it's worth repeating.
Luke and Susie Quotables.
The quotable from Nelson Mandela: there is no passion to be found playing small in settling for a life that is less than the one you are capable of living.
Oh, this is a beautiful one, I think, because I love that idea that it's about passion at the core, that it's about actually fulfilling this potential that we've been born with, about fulfilling that which we've been given and the purpose that we've been given, and that actually shrinking ourselves to make other people feel more comfortable or to make life a little bit, I don't know, easier to get through, whatever it is, actually doesn't serve a purpose, doesn't fulfill its purpose.
Yeah, there's no passion to be found playing small, and it's this interesting thing because it flies in the face of, it's okay to not have to be the world champion. It's okay to not be the best, and it's this interesting context of, so Nelson Mandela, who was obviously politically in the end this elite figure, and he's saying this. So would be this inclination to dismiss, to go, oh, that's easy for you to say. But of course, the background of Nelson Mandela before he was leading a country was quite different. But the whole concept is not about whether or not you're a prime minister, a president, a world leader, a gold medalist or whatever. It's the life that, not settling for something that's less than what you're capable of. And so your heights or your purpose that's about you, and don't settle for less than who you're meant to be and the impact that you're supposed to make. However you categorize that, and whether it's world leader or gold medal or whatever, don't settle. That's the key point in this quote, right? Don't just go, oh, that's good enough or that's enough, when there's more in you. Everybody, your family, your friends, the world deserves to have the best version of you.
There is no passion to be found playing small in settling for a life that is less than the one you are capable of living.
Nelson Mandela, #quotable.
Luke and Susie want to talk about what matters to you. To share your thoughts or suggest your topics to be discussed, the Luke and Susie Discourse.
All right, Suze, a question that's come in from Fiona, and it was all about where the romance started, Suze.
Yeah, how did you meet your life partner is the question we've been asked to look at.
So normally when there's two people hosting a show like this, then we have two different stories.
Yeah.
But of course, because we're married, we got one story.
Well,
but
you'd think.
we have two different perspectives. Which one of us is going to go first on this, Suze?
I think I should go first on this one.
Really? You think so?
Yeah. So I was told about Luke a couple of days before I met him, and I was told that he's a little bit shorter than me.
Yeah.
He's pretty loud, and kind of stocky.
Yeah.
Build?
Short, fat, and feral is basically.
Kind of what I was told about this guy. But
well
I was told
sold.
he'd be perfect for me. 2 days later was at the wedding of our friends where we first met. I was a bridesmaid, you were the MC.
Yeah.
And that was where we first saw each other, because we'd heard about each other, because we were a setup.
Yeah, that's right. They thought, Susie would be amazing, because my version was I was sitting down going through with the bride and groom, and I'd met the bride for the first time. They had a fairly short courtship, and it was in a different city, and I knew the groom really well, but I sat down with the bride for the first time planning what was going to happen in the after the wedding and in the reception. And as I was sitting there, the bride went, oh, Susie. And she looked at her groom to be, and he went, yes. And I at this point, I didn't have a list of who was bridesmaid. I didn't even know who they were referring to or what the context was. She goes, Susie. And he went, yep. And then they just moved on.
Yeah.
That was all I heard. And then they obviously decided at that point, how do we describe Luke? Short, fat, and feral is where it came after that point. But Suze, this is where the stories collide. And from my perspective, the very first time I saw you was you as a bridesmaid walking down the aisle.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember distinctly what I was thinking. As it turns out, so do you. And I was thinking, I wonder which one is Susie, because I didn't know, because I hadn't met any of the bridal party. I wonder which one is Susie as I watched all the bridesmaids walk down the aisle. And you saw me and obviously almost instantly fell in love.
My first thought was, quit staring, you freak. He just kept staring at me. The bride was walking down the aisle and you were staring at me.
Quit staring, you freak.
It was love at first sight.
And then the next thought you had that you tell me? So quit
knowing my luck, I'd end up married to him.
You say that in the tone like you were destined for the punishment. Knowing my luck, I'd end up married to that guy.
Mm.
And how long after that day was it that we actually got married?
It was 2 days shy of 1 year.
Yeah,
it was the day that I first heard he existed. A year to that day that we got married.
Wow, aren't you a lucky girl?
I'm a lucky girl.
The good luck that you ended up married to that guy.
But Fiona's question today, we want to know you. How did you meet your life partner?
All right, let's go with Renee. Renee, how did you meet that special someone? What's that story?
Like you and Susie, we have a very different perspective, 2 different stories as well. I first noticed my husband as a 15-year-old. He was setting up sound gear at church out the back. They were a visiting group coming to church. He was setting up all the sound gear out the back. I saw him and thought, oh, he looks all right, but didn't really connect for a while after that. And then our youth groups got together, and our youth groups, I was just doing my thing and my husband saw me, and he can remember to the day what I'm wearing, what I was wearing that night, what I was doing, what games I played. He kind of followed me all night. And then nothing happened for a little bit longer. And then we went together on Beach Mission on the same team, and we hooked up there and got married about 12 months after Beach Mission.
Hooked up on Beach Mission. That's a story.
That must be the first and only relationship that's come out of a place like Beach Mission. Okay, I've got so many questions on this. First of all, can I clarify whether or not there's an age gap?
I am older by 1 month.
Okay, 1 month. Because it's really
and
important to clarify when the story
important
starts with, I met him as a 15-year-old. Was he 15? Were you 15?
That's right.
Was this? If it was a 30-year-old saying, I met my 15-year-old. The other thing that I want to clarify too is about he remembers everything that you were wearing, like I did with Susie. I'm not sure if she remembers this debate because we've avoided the conversation for a while. But did he remember? Did he remember accurately?
I don't know. I don't remember the night at all. I don't remember him being there. I've got no memory of it at all.
You have to believe his story.
Absolutely, I do. I remember the night, but I don't remember him being there. I don't remember anything except we're outdoor doing outdoor games, and I love touch football and I loved all of those active games, so I did it. He wasn't important that night.
He wasn't important. and has that changed since?
Oh, I'm still into outdoor games, absolutely. But no, we're very happily 23 years married and
congratulations.
lots of time together.
Hey, now, Susie, can I just double check for you? What were you wearing when I first saw you?
It was a pink dress.
Yeah, all blue.
It was pink.
Yeah, but there was a look. So Renee,
shimmered a little.
It was pink with a blue two-tone.
Look, with the photos, it's pink.
And do you remember the two-tone bit, or is that something that
it's blue in my head. the two-tone's what I'm clutching onto to say I'm not completely wrong. Sammy, our producer, there's lots of love stories that are coming through. What have you got for us?
Hi, so there is one from a Facebook user who hasn't showed their name through the chats, but it says that I went on holiday for 3 weeks in Brizzy, and he sat down opposite me at Christmas drinks, and boom, I knew he was the one in 10 minutes. 12 years married and still very much in love.
Beautiful. That's a lovely story.
I love how you met that special someone that has to be told with a boom. Yeah, that's high quality.
Adele has one as well there.
And then another one that yes, of course. So she was saying he came into the top shed where she was working as a customer to pick up the tank. And obviously she must have had love at first sight because she thought he was cute. Asked the logistics manager, and the rest is history.
Very nice.
Well, I don't know that there's too many romance stories with me going, I need to ask my logistics manager. doesn't sound like the ultimate version of romance, but hey, we'll take it. Now, we don't have Lynn with us, is that right?
That's right. Lynn's not there. But Caroline is here. Caroline, let's ask you, how did you meet your life partner?
We were out. I was out with my sisters for my sister's birthday, and we'd had a great night and we're getting ready to leave. And then as we were coming out, there were some booths, and my sisters were talking to some friends, and I noticed some guy that I went to high school with, and I was like, oh, hey. I was a little inebriated, so I was a bit loud. So I'm like, oh, I went to school with you. And he's like, did you? And I'm like, yeah. And then his friends were like, oh, he's single. Come sit down. And 18 years later, we're still together. Married 15 years now.
So his friends went, you know who'd be perfect for you? The drunk loud lady.
Yep. Yep.
That is awesome. Hey, we'd love you to be involved in what's going on right now in this live show. Make sure you write comments, whether you're watching on the Facebook community or whether or not you're via YouTube. You can just make sure you write those comments and be a part of all the discussions that we're having. And, of course, all of this is thanks to our program sponsors, Suze, that make all of this possible.
Oh, there's so much to explore, so much to experience, so much Australia.
You can rediscover our great country, all of its beautiful secrets and majestic surprises. Head off-road with a Blue Water camper trailer from program sponsor Blue Water Campers.
A quality Blue Water camper makes any adventure possible and every journey enjoyable. So take a look at the range at Blue Water Campers today and chat to the team about all the options available to you.
That's bluewatercampers.com.au. bluewatercampers.com.au. And Suze, in our next question we're going to deal with, this is all about our age sort of getting away from us. And Suze, the reality is that the comment has been made, the older I get, the less I feel my age. Does anybody else feel the same? The older I get, the less I feel my age. Does anybody feel the same? What about you, Suze? The older you get, the less you feel your age?
Yes, I find it really hard to believe that I'm as old as I am.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense in my
So
head.
how old do you feel?
22.
Oh, wow. You don't live like a 22-year-old.
I don't live like a 22-year-old. Things have gone very wrong if I'm a 22-year-old with a 12-year-old and two 10-year-olds. But, yeah, I don't know. In my head, I feel quite youthful still. How about you?
I don't feel my age at all. I feel at least 65.
Oh, you feel older. Is that your body or your head, though?
Definitely my body.
Yeah.
Like, I don't feel like the aches and pains, but also things like when I was younger, I used to be able to pull all-nighters, and I would have a late night, or I'd stay up to 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and then I'd be up at 7 the next morning, and I wouldn't feel any side effects these days if I did anything like that. And I do. The next day I feel like so up against the wall. Come 4 o'clock in the afternoon, the yawns that are coming out of me. I just feel like every part of my body is going, you're old, you're old. You're old.
I'm going to change my answer. I'm going to say somewhere in my 30s is where I feel.
Right. Why did you change?
I changed it because when I was in my 20s, I was pretty sure I knew it all.
Yeah.
And I really, really know I don't now.
Right. What? Okay. So what highlighted that?
Every day of my life.
the fact that sometimes you forget to wear your pants the right way around. Is that?
It's happened. It has happened.
There's no question it has.
All right. So what about you? Do you feel that the older you get, the less you feel your age. And do you feel that way, Brian? Let's ask you this question. The older you get, do you feel your age, or do you feel younger or older?
It depends on what day you ask. some days I just get out of bed, or I don't get out of bed. It's just like, nah, not doing that today. But generally, I don't feel my age. This grey beard that I'm growing as my lockdown prize probably makes me look older. But realistically, I go and I just think, I look around and I go, geez, you people look old. And then I walk past the mirror and realise that they're the same age as me. But I just don't feel it. I feel like, I don't know, like I'm still 30 or something, except when my knee says, no, you're not.
Yeah, that's it. I reckon it's the mind and the body tell us two different stories. Hey, I think our bodies tell us we're older, but our brains say, no, you're not.
Yeah, exactly.
You work with young people too, I think, don't you, Brian?
I work with kids. I work with primary school children, 600 of them.
So, you feel young.
It does, except when you realise that they think of you like a granddad.
Yeah. Well, you were saying before about when you see your kind of your friends or see other people and you think, oh gosh, they're not aging well. And then somebody else says, well, they look exactly their age, and you know that they're the same age as you, and you sort of start to do comparisons. You realise, actually, that's exactly how they're looking at me thinking, gee, Luke's not aging well. Our brains disconnecting a little bit.
I reckon that's how people look at me too, and say, yeah, he's looking a bit old, but
like he's had better days.
It's how you think about yourself. It's how you feel, and how you think throughout life and throughout your day determines how you feel at the end of the day. So starting off might not be easy in the morning sometimes when the knee says, no, you're better off staying in bed. But, I think as you go through the day and it's just what you think about yourself and what you think about what's going on around you makes a difference.
Yep. Now, Sammy, our producer, you are a younger end of the scale here. So you shouldn't have too many aches and pains to go with compared to what we're already talking about. So tell me, as you get older, do you feel more or less your age?
Well, the one thing that Brian said that I agree with is it depends on the days. Sometimes I definitely feel older and I feel like, just don't have the patience for stupid people. But then other days, it's just boundless energy, and I feel like I can play with Cozy for hours. So I think depends on the situation and the day.
Sammy, you just contextualized that whole thing while you're sitting in our office. So therefore, when you say I can't tolerate stupid people, it's at least one of Susie and I that you're referring to. Do you want to throw it out there, Sammy?
Well, I really like my job, so I'm not going to comment.
We both have our moments. Let's be honest about it. Lynette said today, I'm feeling it.
I'm assuming that's the older end of
yeah. And Ella said, even at the age of 21.
Yeah, okay, that's Ella giving her I'm younger than you jibe. Yeah. Ella always likes to take the opportunity to remind us of her age compared to ours.
The older I get, the less I feel my age. Fiona, is this true for you?
Absolutely. When I was quite young, I can remember telling my mum when she was going away and I was going to be staying at home because I'd started working and I was like 15. But coming to stay with me, she's 21, so she's really mature and she's grown up. And I got to 21 and I went, I'm still such a little girl, I'm still so young. 30's old. And then I got to 30 and I went, no, I still feel like I'm just quite young and I haven't got my head around life yet, and then I got to 40 and 40 was old when I was 30, and then I was like, no, this is ridiculous. And now I'm like, I don't think 50's old, and I've got friends that are having 60th birthdays, and my mum's like 74, and I've never looked at her and thought, oh, like she's really old. But she's recently starting to, have some problems with sciatica and back issues and things like that. And she's really struggling. And now I'm kind of going, oh, she's getting a bit older. But to me, she doesn't look old, and she doesn't have an old attitude or anything. So like that doesn't even seem old until you throw in my body's starting to fall apart thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Fiona, this sounds like you've just gone through 1,000 steps in your mind. Like this is the brain starts with one. Am I feeling my? And then it's just rattled on, and you've just lived every day of your life all over again.
Well, you look in the mirror and you go, where did those wrinkles come from? What's going on with this neck thing? Like I'm young. Like I wasn't going to live this long. I was never going to be a problem. I was going to have to worry about wrinkles. I'd be dead before then.
I wish there was something in my mind that can convince myself that sometimes mirrors just break without actually having the shadow. Like they actually don't work as well.
The mirrors are playing tricks on us.
Yeah, it's the mirror's fault that's involved in this.
Absolutely. But I remember a card years ago, and it said, like it's your birthday, you stand in front of the mirror and you look, you yell out like, whose face is this? And how did my brain get into it? Like, it's just like the face that you see is not how you see yourself.
Yeah.
It's quite bizarre. I'm still 27, I think.
We're going to wrap things up with Angela and just say, Angela, do you feel your age at the moment? We just got you muted there, Angela. We'll just have to get that unmuted.
Definitely. Some days I feel older than what I am. And other days I think I'm about 35. Yeah.
Yeah. And those.
About 12. Some days I'm about 12.
Hey, I'm not going down in that part of the conversation because I'll lose.
Oh yeah.
Susie might suggest it's more than some days with me.
Grade 5 boy, which is what our youngest children are at the moment. So that's probably where you sit, Luke.
We'd love to get your comments and make sure you stay in touch and be a part of the show. You can write if you are on Facebook or YouTube. Make sure you write those comments to join us. And all of this is thanks to our program sponsor. When we're looking at those who are helping to make this show possible, so much to explore, so much to experience, so much Australia.
You can discover our great country and all of its beautiful secrets and majestic surprises and head off-road with a Blue Water camper trailer from station sponsor Blue Water Campers.
A quality Blue Water camper makes any adventure possible and every journey enjoyable. So take a look at the range of Blue Water campers today and chat to the incredible team about all the options that are available to you.
At bluewatercampers.com.au.
Now, Suze, we have one more topic to get through, and we've got a little bit of a battle, or a little bit of a would you rather that's going on here. And this is an interesting question that's been posed by Ben. Look, Suze, I'm a little uncomfortable with this particular topic.
I'll be honest with you and say, Sammy and I specifically put this question in because of your physical reaction to it.
Pick a side, place your vote.
Would you rather? Two options Ben has written through. He says, would you rather run fast for an hour or just walk for 3 hours? What is with the word just?
Yeah.
There is no just in walking for 3 hours. And my answer to this question was no.
Neither.
No to either option. I mean, who's running fast for an hour if you're not an Olympian? But even then, a 3-hour walk, that's just there's only so much motivation that can come from walking to a donut shop, Suze. I don't understand a 3-hour walk. So if I had to choose, let's say I was capable of both. I'm going to say, Suze, what's your answer to this question?
Okay, my answer to this question, I've done lots of 3-hour walks, and I do love walking long distances. I love going for hikes, particularly when it's through nature. So that's sort of my actual go-to. But in this case, I would say I would rather run fast for an hour and be able to do that.
Yeah.
And not have to do the training to get to that point.
Right, okay.
I just want to be able to run fast
the
for an
end
hour.
result.
The end result of being able to run fast for an hour. I mean, that would be amazing to be able to run fast for that long.
Yeah. I mean, what do we define as fast? Because, I mean, I know that at times if I try and run, and when I was doing some kind of running, I go out in 10 minutes, and then 15 minutes later, my steps are about every 10 centimeters. I feel like I'm stretching out as much as I can, but it's like my toes are barely getting in front of the other foot. I have walked for 3 hours, but I haven't gone for a 3-hour walk. So when I've traveled and sort of gone to places like India and whatever, I've been walking around streets and markets and experiences for 3 hours.
Yeah.
But it's not like it's casual, it's slow, it's with other things going on. So to say I'm going for a 3-hour walk, or I'm involved in actively walking for 3 hours, especially if there's terrain, I don't know. This is not really my thing, Suze.
Well, let's get your thoughts on this. Would you rather run fast for an hour or walk for 3 hours? This is the question that we're going to be asking today. Let's kick off with Bev. How are you, Bev?
Hey, I'm with Luke. I'm not walking or running for 3 hours.
Right.
I'm happy to walk 15 minutes. So I'll say no.
Okay,
I mean, that's not the question, Bev.
I just changed the question.
I'm not answering your question. I'm making a new one. I'm telling you
Following
what my
your lead, Luke. Following your lead, mate.
Yeah, that's
all right.
I like the way Bev positioned it. Is I'm going to be a rebel, but I'm going to do it off the back of Luke.
That's the way you want to be. Ella, how about you? You can run fast for an hour or walk for 3 hours. Which one do you think you'll do?
Walk for 3 hours. I would have run to get away from anything. Not my thing.
It's one of those cases where if you see Ella running, you should probably start running too.
Yep.
If
Run
Ella's,
away from something.
if
Something
Ella's,
bad is
if
going
Ella's
on.
running, you don't want to encounter what's behind her.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Hey, now Maureen has gone into a comment. Producer Sammy, we've got, what did Maureen have to say? Oh, she's saying run, so then it's done.
Yeah, just do the hour.
And I can get on with my day. So it's actually just about less time consumption.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think there's wisdom in that, but then there's also pain. So
Physical pain.
yeah, and exhaustion. And I don't know, an hour run. I know that people do it all the time, but even if I could, I don't know if I want to run for an hour.
I would love to be able to. That would be amazing to be able to run. Let's ask Craig. Craig, what would you rather do? Would you rather be able to run fast for an hour or walk for 3 hours?
I'm going to say run fast for an hour, because my stamina just isn't there. I can easily walk for 3 hours, no dramas, but to run fast, as in sprinting for an hour, would be awesome.
Yeah. Okay. Why?
Well, just like I'm really fast over the 100 meters, not as fast as some of those other guys in the Olympics, but like you can imagine how far you'd get in an hour of doing that. How cool would that be? I mean, you see a guy running down the street and, they're jogging along, and you see that guy who sprints that last bit and you go, oh, that's pretty awesome. Imagine doing that for an hour. How far you'd cover.
That would be fantastic.
It would come in handy when you're too late for the ice cream van. And, you start chasing and you can't catch up with him. But if you can run for an hour, you can keep running until
they next stop.
And then
how about when the magpie swoops?
Oh.
When the magpie starts swooping, bang, you're gone.
Craig, I was focused on ice cream. And you just kind of brought magpies into the equation. And I'm not sure that I'm down with that. I think, Craig, that I think you're a very positive guy, and you're excited about the thought of running for an hour. I just don't know that my body is buying what you're selling.
So you asked my opinion in regards to my body, but then you're reinventing it to reassert your image over it. Okay.
Oh, don't be like that, Craig. I'm just saying.
You keep going, Craig. I'm with you.
Craig, you do you. You do you.
Let's finish with Dave's thoughts on this one. You're running fast for an hour or you're walking for 3 hours. Which one would you rather?
It's the 3 hour walk, because you can take in the nature and you can go at your leisure. We are living in a fast world that we don't stop and look at what's going on around us. And especially with COVID being locked up, just being able to take that leisurely walk and go through and have a look at what's going on around the place would be absolutely bliss at the moment. But
Yeah.
also going back to when I was in the army, we had to have the backpack and the rifle, and we did 20K route marches in 2 hours. And that is that's taken a toll on the body. So taking the leisurely walk for 3 hours and just taking in the beauty rather than focusing on the finish line is a bonus.
Do you know what's interesting is that at any point I've never, gone for a 3-hour walk or run for an hour, but I've comfortably many times in my life done things like stayed on a basketball court playing, hardcore for hours on end.
Yeah.
And never thought twice about it. It was just, as long as I'm chasing a ball of some kind,
Mm.
I don't even think about the steps that are involved.
So if you were chasing a ball, would you rather run fast for an hour?
I know. If I was just chasing an individual ball, then I'd give up.
Well, you only have to have a look at the football players and the stats. They now tell you how far they've run on the field.
Yeah.
It's a lot, right?
Well, see, my dad, he was not a football fan at all, and he was quite cynical, and his favourite comment was, I wish they'd flop and give everybody a ball of their own so they'd stop fighting over the one. He thought he was hilarious when he said that every single week. We are going to wrap things up, and we're going to do more of these. We'd love you to stay involved in the chat, and we want to wrap up with Thankful Friday and explore what you are thankful for. And we're not sure. We've got a bunch of people in the background. If you've got a Thankful Friday, we'd love you to put your hand up. Suze, is there something in particular that you're right now feeling thankful for in your world?
I'm thankful for a lot of things, but I'm thankful for our medical professionals. Again, I think I said that recently, but I'm just really blown away by the medical system we have here in Australia and what it does to serve the community, and very, 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 very grateful and thankful for what they do.
Brian, what are you thankful for?
I'm given the current situation with the lockdown and everything, and yes, I have my PAYG job, my casual job with the schools, but that's not enough because it's only 22 hours a week. So I'm really thankful that I have ways of finding other work, that I have different options available. And when one fails, like doing Uber, nobody's going anywhere, so there's not much Uber work. I'm finding other ways to earn money. So I'm really, really thankful that I have that ability.
So in the midst of what is difficult times, there's always sort of seems to be something, a safety net catching you, and there's always something to provide. Brian, we love your thankfulness, and thank you for correcting yourself to make sure you say it with an F, because it's really important. Well, thank you so much to everyone for joining us on YouTube or joining us on the Luke and Susie community. We love that you've been involved, and we can't wait to catch you next time. We'll see you. We've got another live show happening on Friday, I believe. Friday morning, and we'll be able to catch you then. Bye.